Hi, welcome to Pawpaw's Workshop. Today I want to be able to take some time and show you how I repaired the fence behind me. During a recent storm, the fence that's about 30 years old got completely knocked down and had to be replaced. Now this is an 8-foot section that I'm replacing today, and I want to show you how I did it, so let's get started. During the recent storm, this old fence was just knocked completely down. Now this is only one section that I'm going to replace right now, but over time I'll be replacing the rest of it. Before you begin digging, you must call utility companies to mark the lines. That is very, very important. In my area, you dial 811. It's a free service and they will mark the lines for you. Once all the lines are marked, you can decide where to dig the holes. In my case, I'm going to put the fence right next to the shed and bring it over to the other side of the fence, which is about an 8-foot section that I'm replacing at this time. Now I buy the 4x4 posts that are pressure treated and they're 8 feet long. What I like to be able to do is dig down about 2 feet to be able to put the post into the ground. And that gives a good solid base. Hopefully it'll last another 30 years. Okay, I've got one hole completed and I'm now measured exactly where I wanted to put the second hole, and I'm beginning to dig that hole now. Now again, I'm going to dig down about 24 inches or 2 feet. And you have to consider several different things. You have to first consider where those utility lines are, because in my case I have telephone lines and cable lines that were underground. And then the next thing you want to consider is just how the fence is going to look. One of the very fortunate things for me is that this dirt was not really hard. And I'm glad. But that made digging a hole actually rather easy to be able to do. Now periodically I'll check the depth of the hole, and again the goal is to be able to get it down to the 24 inches. And I have obtained that. Now it's time to grab some cement, and yes, I use a dolly. I rarely pick this concrete up anymore and carry it around. I'm getting too old for that. But I use a dolly, just roll it right into position, and then I can handle it from there to be able to mix it. Now if I was doing more than 2 holes, I have a cement mixer that I would have brought out. But just for 2 holes, I can mix it in this pan pretty easy. Now this bag of concrete is actually rather old. You can see it's pretty hard, but it's actually still good. Now this is a 50-pound bag of cement, and I'm going to use this whole entire bag for the one hole. But the first thing I want to do is just break this bag apart and separate it and get it into the pan and get rid of the bag. Now you're going to find that this concrete, because it's so old, is rather chunky. And I want to be able to break apart all those chunks before I add the water to it. And that's just a factor of 1, the bag is old, and 2, that a little bit of humidity over time has gotten to this cement. But keep in mind, it's still good. I just need to break it apart and get rid of these big chunks. One thing I want to point out to you also, you see that dust coming up as I break this apart, and you saw the dust as I was opening up the bag and dumping the cement into that. You don't want to breathe that dust, so try to avoid that. If you need to wear a mask, do so. Now that I got most of the chunks all broken up, it's time to go ahead and add some water. And the first thing you probably notice is, hey, I don't have a spray nozzle. Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize it either, but I had given my son all of the spray nozzles that I had, and I was left with none. But that's okay. A little bit of water can go out into the woods, and it's not going to cause any problems. Now I could read the instructions on the package and see how much water that it needs, but I just add a little bit of water, mix, add a little bit more water, and keep mixing until I get the consistency that I'm looking for. And every now and then I find a hard chunk that's got to get broken up, but that's part of it too. But after mixing for just a few minutes, I'm ready to be able to get it into the hole. The first thing that I like to do is put some cement into the bottom of the hole. And that's very important because I want this post to be completely encapsulated in cement. Now that the concrete is in the bottom of the hole, I'll go ahead and place the post in it. Now I'll tap and make sure that that post is seated right into the concrete, because that's a very important part of it. Once that's done, I'll go ahead and grab the shovel and go ahead and put more concrete into the hole. And as I do this, I want to be able to make sure that the concrete goes all the way around this post, because I don't want to have any voids. Because quite frankly, this post in the ground still will act like a tree and suck up water and over time rot. That's why it's very important to be able to have the cement all the way around this post. Now as I start filling this up about a third of the way, I do want to make sure that I keep this post plumb. And another thing I do is I'll take this stick and poke and push and make sure that there's no air pockets and push that concrete down into that hole. I don't want to just rely on gravity on this part. I want to make sure that that hole is completely filled with concrete and that this post is totally encapsulated in it. And then I'm going to check for make sure that it's plumb again, because I want this post nice and straight. Now I'm going to try to get a good close-up shot for you, but that is exactly plumb. That's what I'm looking for. And I'll of course check that in both directions to make sure that it's plumb both ways. And you can see that it is. Now I grabbed the second bag of cement, and this happened to be a 60-pound bag, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and get it mixed and get it ready to pour into the second hole and repeat the whole entire process. Now I really don't think there's any need to go through this and show you one more time of me mixing the cement, because you know the process and all I'm doing is just repeating this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done off camera and we'll move to the next phase. Now I'm using 3 2x4s, top, middle, and bottom. And I measured and now I'm cutting each of them to length. They're actually just a little bit less than 8 feet long. Since I'm doing this fence by myself and I want to make sure that it's totally level, I will nail one end of the 2x4 and then I will move down to the other end and make sure that it is level and then secure and nail it. And I'll repeat this process for all 3 stringers. And now that I have those in place, it's time to go ahead and add the fence slats. We're almost done. Wow, it's really windy today. But to be able to put the string onto the top of the fence slats, I make what is commonly called a lark's head. And I do that and then I just slip that over on top of the nail and pull it tight. The next thing I do is add a line level, because again, I want the top of this fence completely level. The great thing about this, it just hooks onto the string and will slide anywhere that I need it. And then I'll go to the other end and we'll get it attached to the top of the fence slat. Now at this point, I just hold the line at the top of the fence slat, push the fence slat up until it's level, hold it in place, and I can shoot this into position. And I'm done. At this point now, I can go ahead and attach the string to the top of this slat. And I do that by making a loop, twisting that string, hooking it onto the nail that I just put in position, and then stretching the string tight. And that will hold it securely in place. And now comes the fun part. I'll grab the level, make sure that the first slat is plumb, and finish nailing that into position. And then I'll just work my way down, adding the different slats. And every 3 or 4 different fence slats, I'll check for plumb again and make any adjustments that I need to. Now the string line itself is very, very useful, So when I put the slat in position, I'll just slide it right up until the top of the slat touches the string, and I know that each one of them are going to be completely level across the top. And by using the level, I can check for to make sure that it's plumb, and that way I have a really nice straight, level, and plumb fence. This part of building the fence actually goes really quick. It doesn't take long to finish this 8-foot section. A quick look at the level, and you can see that it's exactly completely plumb, and that's what I'm looking for. So that's an invaluable tool, and don't forget this part. A lot of people just put the level on one time and go, and over time it can get out of plumb. So that's why I like to check it every 3 or 4 slats that I put in. So this is a fun project to be able to do, and it's one that goes rather quickly, and it's rewarding to be able to see the fence up and back secured. Hopefully it'll last for another 25-30 years before the wind breaks it down again, and I'll be doing this. At least I hope I am. We'll have to wait and see. So I wanted you to be able to take a look at the completed fence, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. Now over time I'm going to be adding another section or two to be able to make sure that this fence is strong and will last for years to come. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.